Imagine this. Two of the world's most powerful economies locked in a battle that spans centuries. But this isn't a war fought with guns or missiles. This is a war fought with something far more valuable, something that glittered in the hands of ancient traders and still controls the fate of nations today. Silver, the secret weapon that brought empires to their knees and made others unstoppable. And right now, in this very moment, that same battle is playing out between China and Japan. A currency war that most people don't even know exists. Before we dive deep into this fascinating story, if you're someone who loves understanding the real forces that shape our world, the hidden economic battles that determine everything from the price of your morning coffee to the stability of entire nations, then you're in the right place. Hit that like button right now and subscribe to The Gray Ledger, because we bring you the stories that others won't tell. The economic mysteries that change everything once you understand them. Now, let's rewind the clock. Let's go back to a time when silver wasn't just a precious metal. It was the backbone of global trade. It was money in its purest form. And two nations, China and Japan, were about to use it in ways that would reshape the entire world economy. Picture China in the 16th and 17th centuries. The Ming Dynasty is in power. China is already one of the most sophisticated economies on the planet. They're producing silk, porcelain, tea, and countless other goods that the rest of the world desperately wants. European merchants are sailing across vast oceans just to get their hands on Chinese products. But here's the thing. China doesn't want what Europe has to offer. Not their wool, not their wine, not their manufactured goods. China is largely self-sufficient. So what does Europe pay with? Silver. Pure, precious silver. And China becomes absolutely addicted to silver, not because they love shiny objects, but because their entire tax system runs on it. The government demands taxes in silver. Land transactions happen in silver. Major commerce happens in silver. China becomes the largest vacuum for silver in the entire world. Ships loaded with silver from Spanish colonies in the Americas cross the Pacific, heading straight to Chinese ports. It's estimated that between 1/3 and 1/2 of all the silver mined in the New World eventually ended up in China. Think about that for a moment. Half of all the silver being pulled from the earth in South America was flowing into one country. That's economic power on a scale that's hard to imagine. But here's where things get interesting. Japan is sitting right there, watching all of this happen. And Japan has something that China desperately needs. Japan has silver mines, lots of them, rich deposits of silver that Japanese miners are pulling from the ground at an incredible rate. During the 16th and 17th centuries, Japan becomes one of the world's largest silver producers. Some historians estimate that Japan was producing about 1/3 of the world's silver output during this period. Now, this creates an absolutely fascinating dynamic. China needs silver for its entire economic system to function. Japan has silver in abundance. This should be simple, right? Japan sells silver to China, everyone's happy. But economics is never that simple. Because Japan also needs something. Japan needs Chinese goods, silk, ceramics, books, medicine, cultural products. But more importantly, Japan needs copper. And China has copper, so we've got this beautiful, intricate dance happening. Silver flowing from Japan to China, copper and goods flowing from China to Japan. When you have two countries trading with each other using precious metals, the exchange rate between those metals becomes critically important. In Japan, silver might be relatively cheap because they're producing so much of it. But in China, where silver is scarce and desperately needed, it's worth more. Way more. This creates what economists call arbitrage opportunities. Traders could buy silver cheap in Japan, sail it over to China, sell it for a huge profit, buy Chinese goods with the proceeds, sail back to Japan, and sell those goods. Then do it all over again. But the Japanese weren't stupid. The Tokugawa shogunate, which came to power in the early 1600s, saw exactly what was happening. They watched their silver flowing out of the country. They saw foreign traders getting rich off Japanese resources, and they realized something crucial. If they could control the flow of silver, they could control trade itself.